Well, welcome back, everyone. Well, from time to time, I'd like to invite Bud York in. He's a sheriff of Warren County to come in and just talk about things that are going on with the department. And as you know, in the news lately, we've been talking about a couple of different issues affecting the sheriff's department. So this is Bud York. Welcome, Bud.
Well,
nice to have you back again.
Thank you for having us.
As always.
For having me.
Last time you were here right before the election, so a little congratulations is in order for you.
Thank you.
Overwhelming majority, 2/3, like over 60% of the vote is what we reported. That shows there's quite a mandate for what you were doing and how you were doing it. So congratulations.
Yes, thank you. That was an important race for me. It was my last one, and it at least makes me feel good that the people like what we've been doing under my administration for the past 8 years, and I felt good that the people didn't look through the negativity of the campaign that was unleashed at me. So I was happy to see that.
Yeah, that was kind of a rough campaign, I know. So I would imagine then that it must feel good around the department then, right? People rallying around?
Yeah, everybody's at ease now. Every 4 years during election, people get a little uneasy, and it's been my policy to tell them not to worry about it. They vote for whoever they want to vote for, and I'm not much at playing politics, but they feel a little uneasy, and they feel good now that it's over and we can continue on with our work.
Right, Bud. There's a couple of topics that I'd love to just get your thoughts on. I don't think a week goes by that we don't report something on the influx of drugs into our communities. And I know that you really make it a priority with the Drug Enforcement Unit in Warren County. Give me a little sense of what's going on there.
Yeah, as we spoke last time, in 2008, when I was first elected sheriff, I started a narcotics enforcement unit. They've been very successful. They've done a great job. And as I've mentioned before, we've got a lot of seized assets, a lot of money, $1.3 million in cash, a lot of vehicles. We're trying to stay out ahead of the heroin addiction problem that's affecting everybody in the whole country. What we're going to be starting in Warren County, matter of fact, tomorrow, Jesse, is I'm adding one more person into the drug unit, and it's going to be a part-time person. It's a person that I'm going to put in part-time. We're going to attach him to the New York State Police CNET, the Capital Narcotics Enforcement Team. So they're going to be attached to them, working mainly in Warren County. So it's certainly going to help my narcotics enforcement unit. And I'm looking forward to that. This should be a good marriage between the state police and us.
Well, these drug dealers seem to prey on rural communities. They seem to come in over the border. They seem to come up from the city and whatnot. So I would imagine that the cooperation between the state police and the sheriff's department, you really got to have some cooperation there, right?
Right, and there's great cooperation between us and the state police, and certainly with the Glens Falls Police Department. I think it's important that if you're running a police department, you should get along with all your brother police officers, no matter what patch they wear on their arm. And a lot of times in the past, that's been problematic. People get territorialism in their blood, and they don't want to cooperate. But we don't have that problem in Warren County. And if we do have a little problem now and then, we try to fix it right away.
Yeah, I got it. Now you actually have quite a presence. Warren County, what's a square mile?
Oh, you put me on the spot. I think it's 900 plus square miles, and I know there's about permanent residents is about 65 to 66,000.
Right now, if I've got this correct, know that Glens Falls has a police department. Bolton Landing, I see a couple of cars in Bolton Landing, but pretty much all the other townships, hamlets and whatever, rely on the services of Warren County Sheriff's Department, right?
That's correct. Bolton other than Glens Falls, Bolton is the only other police department, and that's basically a part-time police department for the village of Bolton, and we get along very well with them.
Mm-hmm. And the other issue that I wanted to talk about, we've been reporting on quite a bit, is the possibility that there'll be a consolidation in the police departments in Glens Falls with the Warren County Sheriff's Department. What's the status of that? How do you feel about that?
Well, my view on that, and I'm not ducking the issue, my view is that I, as the sheriff, the elected sheriff, I don't have a vote on whether that's accomplished or not. That's something that the Glens Falls Common Council, the people of Glens Falls, and the Warren County Board of Supervisors, that's up to them to decide whether that's something that they want to do. It's up to them to decide whether it's economically feasible, whether they want to do it. My position as sheriff, I strongly believed that the people, the citizens in Glens Falls, have a right to decide for themselves whether they want to do this or not. Right. They have a right to choose to keep their police department. They have a right to choose to consolidate if they want to. It's not up to me as the sheriff. It's not up to the mayor to decide it. It's not up to the chairman of the Board of Supervisors to decide it. It is up to the people of Glens Falls. And I think if the people of Glens Falls votes on it, they will make the right decision for them, whatever that decision is.
Well, I can tell you that the calls that we get here and the emails that I get don't have as much to do with the cost savings. Seems that, and you understand this, I understand this, the level of services would change, that they wouldn't have their police department ready 24/7 to respond to their needs. That's what we hear most often. Now, Glens Falls does have the police department located right there in City Hall. Would Warren County Sheriff's Department have a presence in Glens Falls? Would there be any decrease in services?
Well, interesting point. I don't think the level, at least under my administration, the level of police services would not change. If I had to take over, if the people of Glens Falls decide they want to do it, and my administration had to take over the police department, there would be no level of services would not diminish, because we would put our officers right down in the city of Glens Falls. We'd probably work out a deal with Glens Falls on using the existing police departments, and our people would work right out of that building, and they would cover just Glens Falls. They wouldn't be covering anywhere else in the county. So to me, that's not an issue. I think what is at issue for the people down there is whether they have their own police department or not. And that could be a philosophical difference or not, but it's certainly up to them to decide, and certainly they have the right to decide that. But we would still carry on the same service if we, in fact, were asked to do it.
Yeah, got you. And as I was stating earlier, with the exception of Bolton, which just have a part-time police department, the Sheriff's Department in Warren County takes care of the whole county. And I know I see that because you guys are on Route 11. You know that.
Well, it's not just Warren County Sheriffs. It's New York State Police are also covering that.
I don't want to see them. When I see the Warren County Sheriffs, I wave. Yeah. This is kind of a private joke. Route 11 is the road that I take going from the Northway over to the lake, and it's just a great road to drive on, and I'm a driver, which you know. How was the winter?
The winter, gee, it's a lot easier than last winter, huh?
Yeah, you could say.
I feel bad for the business owners. I'm not a winter person, I'm a summer person, but we live in the North Country, and I think if we're going to have winter, we should have winter. We should have snow. We should not have rain. The snow certainly helps the businesses, the snowmobilers, the skiers. So it's too bad that we didn't have more snow this winter.
And I would imagine there'd be some traffic things. I noticed even just going up to Hague yesterday, there's ice patches around and stuff like that. There's constant, below 32 degrees, above 32 degrees, rain, snow, and whatever. That's got to make it rough for the road patrol, right? Yeah,
there's been a lot of accidents. We've investigated a lot of fender benders and a lot of injury accidents. So that's not good.
Well, Bud, thank you so much for coming in, and we'll be checking with you in the summer sometime if you can break away.
My pleasure.
As always, great to see you.
Thank you, Jeff.
Good, thanks for coming in.
Bye.
To see this interview again, you can head to our website, looktvonline.com.